Our next presenter is Dr. Philippa Collin from the Institute for Culture and Society. Please welcome Philippa.
Good afternoon. Our research shows that when young people go online, they do a lot of ordinary and sometimes extraordinary things that really support their educational, economic, social and political participation, especially those young people who are vulnerable or experience disengagement. But our ability to translate these strengths for policy and practice is undermined by what we call a control paradigm, encompassing a deficit approach to youth and a risk management approach to the technology. Now, control paradigm is powerful because it directs the efforts of policymakers, of parents, of educators towards strategies for managing what young people do online. And our research shows that this seriously inhibits young people's ability to maximise and sometimes to even imagine what the benefits of the technology might be. So shifting the policy and public debate from one which is really concerned with the risks and the potential harms to one which is also concerned to understand how we can leverage the opportunities of technology has been the main aim of the Young and Resilient Initiative, which I co-lead with my colleague Amanda Third. Since 2011, initially in partnership with the Young and Well Cooperative Research Centre and with 23 of our Western Sydney University colleagues, we have engaged 1,500 young people and more than 90 organisations to design, define and deliver 33 projects. And together we've created co-research and design tools, reports, practice guides and actionable data which is being used in policy and in practice. Our research is being adopted. So for example, our commissioned evaluations of the Ilana and Madeline eSmart framework have been tailored to support young people's participation in digital literacy for online safety. And this is being delivered in 2,200 schools and more than 900 libraries around Australia. Many of our resources and tools are now recommended by leading youth services, including reachout.com, Wellbeing Australia and the Butterfly Foundation. We've also helped to raise public awareness through 26 targeted industry reports which have been widely distributed and discussed in public media, including the Fairfax Press, many channels of the ABC, The Conversation and the Huffington Post. We are regularly asked to advise industry and national services, including Telstra, Google, the Smith family and the Raising Children Network. And these efforts are helping us to shape the agenda in order to shape policy. For example, our calls for a youth-centred, co-design approach to the development of services for young people have been recently adopted by the New South Wales Government and embedded in tenders for services in employment and settlement for young people here in Western Sydney, particularly those who have recently arrived or have had refugee or refugee-like experiences. And research, led by Amanda, into children's experience of their rights in a digital age has been presented at a General Day of Assembly at the United Nations in Geneva, leading to her co-authoring a case for UNCRC general comment on children's rights in the digital age. And together, these efforts are helping us to support sector capacity for a new conversation around young people and digital media. We have been involved in skills and knowledge translation and exchange through collaboration, helping to generate more than $1 million in new research funds for collaborative projects with our partners. Our co-research and design tools are being used by organisations and networks, most recently in Western Sydney through a living lab where we brought together more than 100 stakeholders to co-create an action agenda to promote the resilience of young people and their communities. So in keeping with the Western mission, our locally engaged research is resonating at the level of the global, and we're contributing to a shift in the debate around the relationship that your kids, your students, perhaps your new neighbours or colleagues can have with the technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Philippa. Question from the judges.
Philippa, could you just tell us a little bit more about the media reports and the coverage you've got and the impact that you think it is having on the conversation in Australia in general?
Okay. I don't know. Oh, you can hear me now. Okay. Look, the dissemination of our research has been key to our approach. So right from the get-go, when we discuss with organisations what and communities or parents or young people, what are some of their key concerns, broader understanding and particularly the information that they get from the media is one of the key factors. So it's been very important for us to think about how we might be able to report this information and engage the media in a constructive debate. And that's involved collaborating with our partners and the young people that have been working with us on these projects to craft the kind of message and the way that we can share this information through the media, being responsive to you know, popular or current events that are taking place and think about how our research that may have been created in one context relates to another. So a good example of that was talking about the ways in which young people might be using digital media to have a voice or an opinion around gender equality. Being able to tap into some of the research that we've done and help the broader community understand the ways in which the technology is also a part of their everyday conversations and experiences. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.